First I bought a Chevy and everybody said, oh, you're an idiot, you need to buy a Ford. Now I bought a Ford and everybody is already starting to say, oh my God, I can't believe you bought a Ford. Why didn't you get a Chevy? Should've got a Dodge. Good thing I didn't get a Dodge. Anyways, we got some work to do on the ASPCA Raptor. I've got it pulled in here. I just got done draining the oil. I think I may have mentioned this before, but these tanks here, so the drain bolt is up under here, and when it goes down, it just kind of pools into the frame, and this fills with oil and stuff. And if you have a skid plate on there, it's even worse. Oil just dumps all over the place. It runs down the back. It really is super messy. So I had a little trick. I didn't video it, but I do have pictures. Basically, you take a piece of cardboard, put a crease in it, and tape it under here, and then run it into whatever kind of pan you have. And that makes it like no fuss, no muss. Really, really easy. You don't have to worry about getting oil all over the place, and then you just toss out the piece of cardboard. Makes it way, way easier. So anyways, I have the Raptor out because I want to do the transmission. I don't know that I'm going to film doing that whole thing because I actually have an engine build video coming out for you guys, because I did film and do a tutorial on how to build that Raptor engine when I was doing it, and I just haven't put that up yet because I want to make sure that the quad runs right before putting up an actual tutorial. You know what I'm saying? The Wildcat Banshee has been sitting here basically just waiting. So check this out, man. This is a really nice seat cover. This is our seat, not just seat cover, but this is an aftermarket. And I've had a couple aftermarket seats. You guys know me, I like to try out aftermarket stuff, see what's good and what's not. This was by the company, I think it's called Cogem. And this is scary, guys, but I'm pretty sure it's the same brand that makes the knockoff eBay Amazon plastics. Now those ones I do not approve of, but their air boxes, I actually have one of them right there. The air boxes are really good. And this seat is really good, man. The fitment is really nice. All the seams look good. Really looks good. Something important with Yamaha, especially the Banshee, is that back panel is nice and square. That's kind of like a look that I really like. The seat that came on this machine, it was kind of rounded. I don't know if somebody trimmed the foam or just from being really old, it got flat, but that square appearance is really important to me, and it feels really good. I sat on it, jumped up and down on it. I mean, I don't know how well the foam will hold up and the seat cover, but it feels good, it looks good, and it fits right. Comes with the bumpers, it latches accurately. It basically, I would say it's, without having an OEM right next to it, it feels just like an OEM. That seat, I would actually give that a thumbs up. So I'll have that in the description below. I'm still waiting from Cascade Innovations to get the replica seat cover, and then I'm going to be doing the custom airbox just like I did on the Voodoo Banshee. Same thing for this one. I have an appointment at Stout's Customs. We're gonna be making another custom airbox. So yeah, I did buy an F-150. I gotta show this to you guys. I know this isn't like a car channel, but it's like basically a power sports channel. I would consider this a power sports. You guys gotta check this thing out. Okay, so first things first, the color is Atlas blue. Favorite color, man. I think the only thing that could possibly get better is if it was like an even more vibrant blue, but that wasn't available from Ford. Second things first, this freaking thing took like 6 months to come in. Like supply chain right now is just crazy. I ordered this thing in April. Probably may have mentioned it at some point in time, and I think a lot of people just forgot about it. Main reason was, I don't know if you guys can even see in the frame, is the trailer. So we got these nice big tow mirrors on here. It's got the tow package, and it's got the Power Boost engine. It's a hybrid. This is actually an electric, which is a little bit scary, but it has like 1,000 horsepower. Yeah, 1,000 horsepower package, and 2,000 foot-pounds of torque package. It's supposed to be really good for towing. Let's look in the engine bay because I actually haven't looked in there yet myself. I just got this thing yesterday. Let's see. Oh man, look at that. I gotta make sure all 1,000 of the horsepower are under here. This is one thing I don't really do that much anymore. I used to work on my cars a lot, and this is one of the, I consider this like a business investment basically, because for what I do with quads and everything, it's really important that I get to where I'm going. So when I go to events, or if I have like a video shoot scheduled with another YouTuber, or I'm taking the quad someplace, the last thing I need is, you know, for like a simple failure on the side of the road, then I have to fix it. That's time and money, but the biggest thing is time. And like I said, I used to do all my maintenance. I used to do all like modifications and stuff like that, and just drive like higher mile vehicles, which there's nothing wrong with that. But for what I do, man, this is worth the investment. I want something that I could just get in and go. And the Silverado was great too. For those of you that know my past truck, that thing was awesome. It was a regular 1500 with the 5.3. Thing was awesome, man, but it was really tough to see around the trailer with the regular truck mirrors. So the tow mirrors are gonna be really nice. And this power boost engine is supposed to be exceptionally good for towing. All right, let me show you guys the interior of this thing. Check this out, man. Come on, man, don't be shy. Check this thing out. Check this thing out. Really interesting. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's like, almost looks like a technical drawing. Pretty cool though. I like it's like a graphite color, all neutral colors. I got the sport appearance package, so everything is like neutral colors, which I'm really big on. It came with the ready wipes, so that when you make a mess. B&O audio system is the premium audio system. I've only put like 10 miles on this thing so far, so I almost can't really give you guys a review, but it's super comfy. Coming from the Silverado, that had great seats. They were both cloth seats. The Silverado is a little bit more firm though. Like right away when I got into this, it almost feels, and this is gonna sound bad, it almost feels like these seats are worn in. Now I had just under 50,000 miles on the Silverado, so they should have been worn in, I would say, by about that time, but they were just more firm seats. Nothing wrong with them. They're just more comfy. It's like in between work truck and lazy boy chair. It's really comfortable. And driving it, I noticed too that it soaks up bumps a lot better, and it just handles better and stuff. And people were saying that when I looked at reviews and stuff, everybody said that the F-150 was just more of a driver, just like a nicer vehicle to drive. And dude, look at the screens on here, man. This is like, I think it's like 12.9 inches or something. It's huge, ridiculously big, really nice controls and stuff. Let me turn it on. I'll show you guys. Oh, wow. This is a 4. Oh, just in case you forgot. They got like a little, let's close the door here. They have it's like a little animation up here. Maybe it's not gonna do it this time, right? Oh well. 10 speed, it's really cool. Maybe, you know what, I don't think it's on. Now we're on. You can't even hear the thing because it's in electric mode. Kind of strange. And then usually, maybe when the lights are on or something, it's a 10 speed and there's like the 10 gears are listed there and you can see what gear you're in. It's pretty sweet. Really just like neat to drive with the technology and stuff. I've never had anything quite as technologically advanced as this. It's got like a huge center console thing here for all my stuff. The back is huge, which I discovered that the crew cab is necessary for what I do because, you know, if you go on these long road trips and stuff, that's basically the trunk. And a lot of times you're carrying people with you. So you have to have that. It's got wireless CarPlay, which is awesome. It's got like this secret compartment up here. The Silverado had that too though, but I'm really glad that this has it too. Man, it's just really, really nice. Really, really comfy. And I'm really excited to go drag racing with this thing. In all seriousness though, this thing's pretty fast. Like for what it is, it's pretty fast. I remember looking at reviews, I think it was on the Fast Lane truck. They put this thing up against the Raptor and it beat it in the Raptor in a drag race. It's got some balls, man. It moves. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna show you guys a secret. You can never tell anybody about this, but the tailgate opens itself. My last truck did that too, but it's still really cool. Another feature on this thing, something pretty cool. It's got the step that comes out and then the arm thing here. If you guys have seen on the older F-150s, it was like integrated into the tailgate up here and you'd like pull it out. But they kind of had like issues with those, with people catching stuff on them. It's pretty cool. Something that I never wanted, but I got it anyways. Anyways, I got the bed liner because I think that's really important for the quads and stuff. You don't want to be scratching up the bed liner and whatnot. I got this box link, which is like the tie downs and stuff, because I mean the Silverado has like really nice tie downs. I keep looking over there every time I say Silverado, like expecting it to be up there, but it's gone. And honestly, that is kind of bittersweet. Trading in a car is very bittersweet, especially if it was a good one. I have the 7.2 kilowatt generator back here. This is really cool, and this is gonna help out a ton with trailering and stuff, because I can actually power the trailer from the truck, which was a big reason why I wanted to bring this. If I set up an event and I want to get a generator going, or I don't even know. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with this thing. When they had the big disasters and stuff down in, I think it was down in Texas, Ford had actually sent a bunch of the Power Boost F-150s down there, and they were using the trucks to power houses and stuff. So this thing is really utilitarian, and it should actually be a really nice upgrade to what I do, especially when I'm on the road. One other thing I made sure I got were these 20-inch performance wheels. When I was at the dealer ordering the truck, I asked the sales guy what the really necessary stuff was, because I wanted to go basically bare minimum so that I could save as much money as possible, and the performance wheels were one of the biggest recommendations that the dealer had. He also set me up with lane assist, collision assist, vibrating cup holders, and heated seats. When I told him I was gonna be towing a lot, he set me up with power running boards, underglow, oh, and this. Totally necessary for towing. But seriously guys, I love this truck. It came in exactly the way that I wanted. Going to the dealership is nobody's favorite activity. They say in terms of things that people don't want to be doing, going to the dealership is number 2. Number 1 being going to the dentist. And believe me guys, I used to be a car salesman. I know what it's like, it's no fun. But if you're in my area, I'm in the Philadelphia area, Bucks County area, and you're looking to buy a new vehicle or a used vehicle, I definitely recommend going to Fred Bean's Ford in Langhorne and talk to my buddy Pat Sweeney. He is one of my best buddies. We worked together for years. I've known him for like 7 years now. He's one of my best friends, and he's the general manager now. Make sure you mention that you heard about them from me, and he'll hook you up. All right, guys, let's get into the Raptor content. So while you guys were coming up with Ford jokes, I went ahead and pulled the engine on the ASPCA Raptor. I also went to McDonald's and got 2 deluxe chicken sandwiches, spicy of course, and 2 McChickens on the side, a large French fry, and an apple pie. It took about 3 hours to yank it out of there. Really not too bad. I'm really happy that for this one, there's really no filming. So I think I can get this done in like, I'm gonna say 2 days. I can have this thing done. So it took 3 hours to pull that out. If I was filming it and everything, it would be like a solid week of work. There she is, man. The heart of the ASPCA Raptor. We just put it in there, man. Just rip this thing out. Anyways, got the goodies in here. This is the 04 Raptor transmission. I think this is actually from an 04. So the ASPCA Raptor is a 2004. I think the engine's a 2004, and what happened is the transmission went bad, and somebody replaced the transmission with an 01. So 01 and 02, I believe, are the same, and then 03 to 05 are the same. It's either that or it's 01 and then 02 to 04. I forget. Regardless, you don't want the 01, maybe 01, 02, whatever, because of 2 reasons. One, the gear ratios are different. So like first gear is really, really long. It's not quite as smooth transitioning as the updated transmission. And then the other thing is it's really notorious. What happened with our transmission is really common. So here's the forks. Oh wait, no, those are the new ones. What am I doing? So I'm gonna pull this engine apart, and probably what I'll do is I'll stop once I get the transmission out, and we'll compare them side by side. And I'm gonna show you the differences between those 2 transmissions. I'll get the years right too. I'm gonna do some research, hop on the computer, make sure I give it to you the right way. All right, let's get into it. Okay guys, I got the bottom end split apart. The old transmission is out, and I've got the new transmission right next to it. Everything laid down side by side. All of the components on the left side are the 02 to 05, and on the right side are the 01. So this is all 01, this is 01, this is 01, and so on. So there's a couple things here right off the bat. if you got your transmission, the easiest giveaway are these little grooves. If you look in the gear, see how they're split? And there's that little groove there. I believe those are called identification grooves. Some people call them oil grooves. I say they're for lubrication. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know them as identification grooves. So you can see they're not on every gear, but they are on a number of the gears. This is the O2. You can see, or yeah, O2 plus. You can see this one has it here, but this one doesn't. But you just want to make sure that the grooves are at least on some of the gears, and that's a giveaway that you've got the O2 to O5. If they're all smooth, like on this transmission, you see none of these gears have the identification grooves. That's an O1. Another thing to check is your second and fourth gear. So on the input shaft, these are the input shafts here, these are the output shafts. On your input shaft, you've got, I believe this is second gear, and this is fourth gear. So we'll start with the O1. So on the O1, you can see fourth gear, these recessions. There are 6 recessions on the O1. Now if you look at the O2 to O5, you can see there's less recessions. See how much wider the gap is there? If there's only 4 of these recessions, then you've got the O2 to O5. You can see more recessions on this one on the right. The one that's spinning right now, that is the O1. And then of course, second gear is the one my thumb is on. These are second gear. The dogs are going to mate up as well. So you can see there's only 3 dogs on second gear on the O1. And then on O2 to O5, there are 4 dogs. So that's an easy way to identify if you've got a new or an old style transmission. Now these big gears here, these are first gear. The O1 style is going to be different than the O2 style. I don't know the actual number of teeth here. I guess you could count it and find out which one you have. That's not really one of the things I would look at for an indicator. The other 2 are much easier to see, but these are different. The different gear ratios for first, second, third, and reverse, depending on which, if you have the older or newer style. And then as far as the forks go, the left and right, they are both the same, but the center fork is different. So you can see the one on the left is for the O2 to O5. The one on the right is the O1. This one just says C. This one says C10, and it's a little bit narrower between these forks. One says 5LP6, the other one says 5LP5. The shift drums and shift shafts and everything else are interchangeable. And just to show you guys what can cause your transmission not to want to go into second gear, it can be as simple as this little bit of rub mark right here. You can barely even feel it. It's maybe half of a millimeter sunken in there. And believe it or not, just that little bit of rubbing on this one fork will cause the transmission not to shift into second. The rest of the forks were in perfect condition, and this would not shift into second. Some other things to check before you put your transmission back in are the dogs. The dogs are these blocky portions that go up, and they fit into those open slots. Let me see if I can get this to focus on the gear that it meshes with. So you can see if I go like that, it won't go in, but when it goes like this, we can mesh it up like so, and then it locks into place. Now what'll happen is the edges will start to round off, from trying to shift it into gear, maybe not using the clutch right, and it's sliding and hitting, and that can cause wear on those dogs and cause the gear. Usually what'll happen is it won't fully engage. It might go halfway in, and then when you start putting power on it, it wants to pop out of place. So you want to make sure that these are nice and square. Usually you can see they'll be slightly rounded. They don't really need too much, and it'll still cause slipping, but they'll be slightly rounded, and the edges will be really shiny. So just really, you got to take a really close look at that stuff, because transmissions can be really sensitive, especially in the Raptor 660. Okay guys, so those are the main differences between the O1 and the O2 to O5 transmission. You can see our culprit is right here, man. This one left shift fork. That'll do it. I don't think it was quite as bad when I put it in there, because I mean, I'm telling you, I was really laying on it, trying to get it to go into second gear a couple times there, just because I knew I was going to be tearing into it anyways. So, if something got messed up in there, it was getting torn down anyways. But just that little bit of wear like that, that'll do it, man. It would not shift into second gear, as you guys saw in the video. So if you're ever in your transmission and you're doing the work and there's a little bit of rub wear, just Get new forks, man. It'll save you a lot of time. Okay, guys, I'll see you on the other side. I'm going to assemble this stuff. I'm gonna take that 01 transmission and throw it as far as I possibly can. And we'll get this thing together, get it in the quad, and we will test out second gear, see how she runs.
2 days later.
All right, guys, we're back in business. ASPCA Raptor, back together. The engine is in the frame, but check this out. Turn this on here. I'm gonna press the start button. Nothing's happening, but check this out. We're getting nothing. See, when you play with these wires, something's going on with these damn wires. If you guys followed this series, this thing was the electrical nightmare. I've replaced probably 50% of the wires in this harness and gone over just about everything, but sometimes you just can't beat corrosion. Even the little pins inside the connectors. A lot of the connectors look like shit. Some of them are melted and stuff. It's not worth replacing individuals. It was time to just order a new harness. So that's what I did. Vito's just came out with a new aftermarket harness. I imagine it's gonna be just fine. Vito's is a pretty good name. So that'll be here in a couple days. For now, I'm probably just gonna make this work. I'll pull that apart and see if I can find whatever. Either it's a bad wire, thin wire, shorted wire, I don't know. But again, these wires are so bad, so old, they were so crappy. It's time to replace them. The ASPCA deserves it, man. All right, I'll figure that out and we'll fire this thing up and see if we can get it to shift. All right, guys, first start attempt with the new transmission. Take one, make sure our wires are good here. Hell yeah. You know, I'm starting to get pretty good at this Raptor 660 thing. I wonder why this time around it started up so much easier. Maybe because I spent weeks and weeks fixing the electrical system on this thing. All right, let's see if the transmission works. A little bit nervous here. Come on. Still a little bit of a hard chug, but it does turn over. So anyways, I did a little bit of jetting changes and I think I might have actually made it worse. It was okay before and I was trying to make it perfect, but we're good enough that we can test the transmission. I don't think we'll blow anything up. We're a little bit floppy right now anyways, and some stuff is missing, so I don't want to be riding around too much. That's how you burn the fenders on the exhaust. But yeah, we should be plenty good to test the transmission out here. Oh man, a little nervous here. Oh, and check out my shifter. You can see I got a mod quad shifter that has like the holes. So I drill a second hole and it kind of makes it like an adjustable shifter because I felt like it was way out there. It was too far. Now I feel like it's just right. It's about the same as the foot brake. All right, let's see if it works. All right, we got first gear. Second gear, baby. It works. We'll run it through the gears. I'm just gonna wait a second here because we got these people. I don't want to scare any babies. Or do I? Second gear, third gear. All right, I was a little bit nervous. Not really. Although I have to say, the first time around, I was just so surprised that we didn't have second gear. I really didn't think anything was wrong with that transmission, but it just goes to show you, you know, this is kind of like my wheelhouse, and I make mistakes too. So we're just gonna kind of go slow down here. If you guys have been recently watching, people have gotten weird in this neighborhood, just in our county and stuff with four-wheelers, and they're just taking them away and you don't even have the option to get them back. So let's just run them through the gears. We got first, second, third, fourth, fifth. All right, we're good, man. ASPCA Raptor is ready to go. I'll just put this back together. Before I do that, I'm gonna play with the jetting just a little bit. It was popping and backfiring when I was revving it. It doesn't sound horrible when I'm actually riding it, but when I was just sitting there revving it, it was popping and backfiring. So I think it just needs a little bit of adjustment. Sounds good on the throttle though. I think it needs a little bit of work, possibly with the idle jet, the small jet, and maybe the needle just a little bit. But it really doesn't sound terrible. See a little bit of a hesitation there. It feels really good. got good power, good torque. I would expect that out of a Raptor 660 though. I think I'd be disappointed if it didn't have it. Sounds great. This Lex exhaust sounds really good. You can feel it's got a little bit of a hesitation down low. It doesn't have, I really like snappy throttles. You hear it burping a little bit. I'll get that sorted out. But otherwise, it feels good in the RPM range. Just a shift there. Yeah, when I like to, when I come down from like a long straight, you know, you bark it, it's sputtering just a little bit. All right, let's put it away before we get carried away. This all feels familiar, doesn't it? Can we get it into neutral? There we go. That was the other thing, is it didn't like going into neutral before, and now it goes into neutral nice and easy. I actually figured out why it doesn't go into neutral. I'll show you guys here in a sec. So check this out, guys. This is the old ratchet mechanism. Pull that out of there. And the shift star, if you will. So the detent, it has like a roller. When you shift the transmission, the whole drum spins, and there's like a detent arm that kind of fits into these grooves, and that puts you into different gears. And right here is neutral, the one that has the little cutout. And if you notice, you can actually see where the detent rolls along, that thin little wear line. And that's actually a design flaw, I would say, in the Raptor 660. I think that should be a wider detent so that it doesn't wear like this. But you can see the peaks are rounded off. And I think that was causing the roller not to stick in here. You know, the roller would kind of come and get notched in there, and then it's in neutral. But since those edges are rounded out, it was kind of just popping back and forth and going over and over. So if you have issues getting a neutral, it could be this piece. Pretty sure you can still get this new from Yamaha. If you can't, get like a decent used one. The one that I got, I wish I had it here with me, but you could see, you could still see where the roll marks were, but it wasn't nearly as bad as this. But that'll do it. ASPCA Raptor's looking good, man. Before I close this one out, I did want to mention, I just discovered that one of my good buddies from high school had cancer, and he beat it, and he's doing a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. I think at this stage of my life, and you know, the older you get, it's hard to come by anybody that hasn't been affected by cancer, and it just sucks. So if you're looking to help, I will have the link for that in the description below, as well as the pinned comment. Any help is greatly appreciated. Anyways, moving on to the Raptor. The ASPCA, man, I'm getting excited to ride this thing. We've got second gear now, man. I've always wanted a quad with second gear. Now I have one. I've never had one with second gear. But this is a cool quad, man. I'm really just excited to see how it does. We're gonna be doing a top quad with this thing. We're getting ready to film this thing, hopefully this month. I'm gonna meet up with Pete Hager and the Brewer Off-Road guys. Hopefully, it can be tough getting everybody together, but I think the four of us are gonna be there. If you guys follow Pete Hager, he's got about 60 horsepower Raptor 700. The thing's pretty fierce. And the Brewers just picked up a brand new Raptor 700. I think they have the big 3 on there, makes around 50 horsepower. It should be a really good comparison to this Raptor because this is, I would say, like mildly to mid modified. You know, it's still a 660. We've got the cam in there, a high compression piston, but it still runs on pump gas. I didn't advance the timing or anything. There's, you know, I didn't put like an aftermarket ignition or anything. It's mid-grade, you know what I mean? We got the full exhaust and stuff. I think it'll be a really interesting comparison. These 660s, when you compare them to the 700, you know, I've ridden both of them, so I can kind of, you know, see where things are gonna go or, you know, how it's gonna be. But it'll be cool to do it side by side. But these 660s, they're kind of antiquated. They really are. They were one of the first like big bore sport quads for 4-strokes. And it's just going to be interesting to see. You know, at least we've got suspension and A-arms and stuff on here. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm really excited to do it. Pretty much all that's left to do is dial in the jetting, put the plastics on there, and she's ready to go. Got to do a little bit of bleeding on the brakes. It's funny when you do a build. There's just like, you can't just put it together and ride it. It's never that way. At least when you do like performance stuff and any kind of custom stuff, there's always like little tweaking things and you got your initial rides and finally you get it dialed in and then you're good to go. Unless like it's a machine that you've done before. Like the Banshee, I was able to do that really quickly. And that's because I've done, I think that's the 3rd or 4th Banshee I've done now. So, you know, I've kind of just like gotten to know the ins and outs and the engine layout was known. I already knew that was gonna work. So that was an easier one. This one, a A little bit more difficult, but we got her, man. We saved her. ASPCA Raptor is saved. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video where I'm showing an extremely fast vehicle that I just bought. Peace out.